Hey guys, so we are back in Subnautica Below Zero once again because they keep on spewing out more and more information and teasing us with more and more video clips and conceptual art. So what we're going to do in this video is exclusively look down through all of the Subnautica Below Zero stuff that we currently have that is up to date and what we can expect so far with this expansion. Now I have a bunch of stuff to show you guys. Everything from power sliding in an exosuit to the deployable drill, which is a thing that we're going to be getting, some stuff about the Ctruck, and some what appears to be polished and damn near finalized graphical detail settings in the actual game, from what I could see at least in this video clip. Now they could raise the bar, lower the bar, who knows? But it does look pretty damn good and close to the Subnautica we currently have and we currently play. So what I'm going to do first off the bat is I'm going to show you guys a clip about the deployable drill, and then I'm going to give you some information on that, and we will continue moving through all of the official stuff that we have until we get to the end of the video. Now this is the clip of the deployable drill. Now keep in mind, this is super early in development. It looks horrible, I know, but the general idea is there. You have a rig designed to harvest materials. What kind of materials, we're not really sure yet. However, we do know if you look over on the Trello that is provided, we can see that this thing may be in late game and not early game, and we actually may also get a tease for early access of this drill. And basically what they do is they give one functional drill at the exchanger, and it allows a player to harvest resources until it is broken. The player won't have the materials to build the drill, but we know the value of it, and it entices the player to keep an eye out for necessary materials. And we can see in the clip, obviously, it's harvesting things. It's more or less just a stationary material gatherer, right? Yeah. So that's cool and all. I think the deployable drill will be a very large part of the gameplay when it comes to Subnautica and needing resources, and it's just because they seem to want to have this thing like one of the main gathering tools you have, because I mean you really got to break through a lot of ice and different things to get resources. It makes sense you'd need a drill of some sort. Now I want to move on from this because what we're going to move into next is the phase gate. Now I know there is a chance they may not even bother adding this phase gate, and I'm kind of skeptical actually on this whole thing because I haven't seen anything about a phase gate or them wanting to do anything with teleportation in the game and players having the ability to do that. And I mean, is it human technology or is this precursor tech? Or maybe they took some of the precursor tech and utilized it and made some human technology based off of their findings of the precursor tech, or maybe they already had phase gates, because I know one of the storylines was they wanted to make some kind of phase gate or something way in space for the outer reaches of the galaxy for Altera and stuff. That's what they wanted to do originally, and well, I don't think that's the case anymore. But regardless, you get the idea, right? So that was more or less the phase gate. I don't know if it's going to be a thing or not that they add to the game. I kind of hope they do add it to the game because, I mean, realistically, traveling between the bases we made when they're so far away got annoying. It got really annoying, and it was really time-consuming in some points. So having a phase gate may actually curve the edge and help you a little bit with the actual progression of the storyline and not having to deal with a lot of the negative stuff. But there's nothing really saying in stone that we're going to get this thing yet. So we're going to have to leave this one for now. Another thing that was referenced in a video was the exosuit and a quote-unquote power slide ability. Now, I don't know the deal with this because I've never heard any mention of the exosuit getting a power slide. We know the exosuit should be in the expansion, but I mean, I haven't actually heard anything of this ability. I didn't think they were going to add a power slide, and realistically, this looks like it's just crouching down and sliding, more or less. It's maybe got some kind of thruster upgrade on the back or something. I mean, I don't even know if this is a legitimate thing they want to bring into the game. I haven't seen anything on the Trello about it. I haven't heard the devs talking about it or anything like that. I like the penguins, though. I know that. But, like, you get the idea. I haven't seen anything about this, so this is kind of taking me off guard because I didn't expect the vehicles to get any quote-unquote special abilities beyond what we currently had, unless they've done some significant upgrades to the equipment we use on the planet since our last adventures as Riley. I guess time is going to tell us what's going to happen with this. It's cool. I like the idea of it, but I don't know. It's going to have to be trialed and tested a lot. Now, this clip is actually a little bit different, and I want you guys to pay more attention to this. And this is for base naming, and the ability, I guess, to name your base and do whatever you want to do with your base. This kind of doesn't really interest me. What interests me is the quality of the background and what we can actually see. So I'm going to play this right here. And you can actually see there is substantially better graphical detail when it comes to the ice and the snow and the flowers around, and everything looks as it almost does in the current version of Subnautica that we have. And that kind of took me back. Now you can see inside right here, we actually have the option to change the colors and name of our base. And I can actually show you the colors in just a moment in a separate video of in-game stuff. But this is a feature that I'm not aware of people asking for it. I didn't really care if I could color my base, but I'm sure there's a community out there, and me seeing this now, I like the idea of it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't do it. So, you know, that's that. I like the idea of this. I'm glad that we can do this, but I never actually thought of a community, or like I never thought any of the community wanted to be able to do this where they can name it and color their base individually. You can see all the ice and snow and stuff. I was more interested in the whole graphical detail of things in the background and how it actually looks. So that's the main reason why I'm showing you this. Now we're going to move into the next section. So this right here is basically a preview of, oh yeah, he has the camera outside too, that's cool, of coloring your base and really customizing how it looks. And you have 4 different sections you can change. Seems like that's section 2. And then section 1 was the actual exterior of the base right there. I don't like that you can change it like that. That's kind of crazy. And then obviously section 3, they can change things around even more if they want, which I assume that's more of a glowing light type fixture than anything else, that ring around it. At least I would hope that would be some kind of glowing light, because it would look badass as hell. And, well, that's basically base coloring right there. You don't really get to see the graphical detail of the game, but the general idea is there. All in all, the clips that we had just seen, I think, really expose a little bit more about Subnautica and what we want to see for the game and the expansion. The graphical detail as well, actually seeing things in their more polished state versus what we were seeing previously, where like it was the bare bones, like you were running this on Windows 98. I think overall, that's going to make everyone super happy with how it's coming along so far. But I do want to show you a piece right here, and I think this actually is a section of the Twisty Bridges, maybe, judging from that arch in the background, but I could be wrong. And I actually haven't seen this posted anywhere officially for Subnautica, but I do see the penguin up there too, and it does feature all of the fancy stuff you see in Subnautica. So we're just gonna roll with it and assume that this is Subnautica related. That was sarcasm, by the way. I'm sure we all know this is Subnautica. So anyways, this is of the Twisty Bridges, thanks to a handy little Google search real quick, just to make sure I wasn't talking out my ass. And this is conceptual in nature, but it's something I hadn't seen before. I don't know how recent this is either, because this has flown under the radar for me for some time, I assume, and I haven't seen anything on the official Discord about this either. However, you just see one of the alien penguins. You see what appear to be ice shelves as well floating on the water, which kind of turns my head a little bit to the side. I don't understand why the ice shelves are here, and yet it does not really appear to be a cold area. There's no real ice or anything underwater, but I'll roll with it. You know, there doesn't have to be ice under the water for it to be a cold area. And all in all, I mean, we get the idea of what they're shooting for when it comes to the Twisty Bridges, which I also saw on the Trello, but it is so bare bones, I'm not even going to show you yet because I think it would be a disservice to the developers. However, I'm going to contradict myself right now and show you the idea behind the C-Train, I believe? The Ctruck, my bad. So this was the idea, and this still is the ongoing idea, I assume, of the C-Train. Ctruck, there we go. I keep on saying C-Train. It's the Ctruck. I'll probably title this C-Train and know I messed up like tomorrow sometime. Anyways, Ctruck, okay? So, from what I understand, they want to have this thing have multiple different attachments. You can make it into a fishing trawler and a bunch of different stuff. I'm not sure what the idea behind it is. I guess it's a mobile command center from, I don't know, whatever standpoint they have. Like, we're supposed to be some kind of alien biologist or something that's studying the life forms and doing research for Altera. But the idea that they had with this was they kind of took the inspiration from one of these, and seeing that they specifically took this section right here, which we know is one of those bendy sections, like it's like a slinky basically, and they can twist it and turn it and like nothing really happens. Well, I can only assume that's how this thing is going to move. And I feel like this may be on some kind of rail as well then, or some kind of system to keep it rooted in place so you can't really free roam with this thing or anything like that. They have done considerable work with it. I'm not sure how much more is left to do, unfortunately, but they do seem to have some of the stuff down and they know what they want to do with it. But that's basically the gist of it right now. Unfortunately, we won't see this updated model for some time, I wouldn't say, because, well, it seems to be one of the larger features they're withholding to show us, kind of like the ice worm. Speaking of conceptual stuff, we actually had this teased on the Discord server as well not too long ago by Abraxas, and we can see right here clearly a structure that is precursor in origin, and the female survivor down right here along with the lights. I can only assume this is some kind of excavation site, or they're trying to find out what's in here and they're exploring the precursor structures for technology, maybe that they can use and try to replicate or learn from. That's my best guess. It kind of takes me back that the precursors have tech way under here too, frozen in the ice, but at the same time, I mean, things could have been a lot different back when this stuff was made. From what I understand, the precursors were on the planet over 1,000 years ago. That said, you need to realize this might not have been frozen 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago. However many thousand years ago they spent on the planet. I mean, basically, they're long gone now. But you get the idea. There is probably the Kara frozen in the ice. As you can see, these ice things right here are green. Maybe this is frozen bacterium. And I'm sure somewhere along the way, in this frozen bacterium-laden place, we actually get infected, and we probably either die or we need to cure ourselves. It kind of makes sense if the bacterium got defrosted and was able to survive that long. I don't know. I'm kind of just pulling stuff out of my ass at this point, so we're going to stop pulling stuff out of my ass because it's starting to smell a little bit bad and a little bit, not fishy, but that's probably a yeast infection. You get the idea, okay? Precursor tech. We got the person here that needs to explore said precursor tech. Yada yada. This place probably wasn't frozen. This was probably normal water that was warm and you could swim in it, or maybe even land. And over the 1,000 years, 2,000 years, whatever, you know, it froze. We won't really know for sure until we see the in-game lore and we see just how the precursors were moving around. If we see paths and stuff and, like, you know, obvious crevices and stuff that were created through the precursors in the ice, then we know they were around when this ice was around as well. Which brings us out to this section right here with the Trello, and we have the Arctic Mountain Cave Base, which we had just seen, and Alex actually had more of the Snowstalker previews that we could see. I actually have those loaded up right now. We're going to go over to those and take a look at those real quick. Just like that, we're here. Yeah. Hi, Alex. How you doing? You're my favorite person on the planet ever because you're working on one of my favorite games. So this is Snowstalker A, and we can see the variations right here. We actually have 2 more variations to go through. This is not the one that we had seen before. The one we had seen before is actually this one right here, Snowstalker B, with its, I guess, kind of looks like half the Batman logo, to be honest with you. Let's move back here. Snowstalker a terrestrial relative of the tropical stalker, yada yada yada, as we had seen before. And this guy has a giant horn on his head rather than the spikes on his back. And this one obviously spikes on his back. And then we move into this one where it has more of like a fin-like structure than what seemed to be little flags on its back, kind of just there. I don't know what their function is or what their purpose is. The idea is good. I like the color pattern. Maybe these would have more of like a mating or an evolutionary trait. Maybe they do something. I don't see why they would have these nice vibrant colors up right here unless it was for mating or something, but I don't know. Maybe that's just one of the questions we will never have answered, unfortunately. Let me know what you think about the Snowstalker down below in the comments section. We're going to move on to some other interesting stuff. Well, holy crap. Look at that. We have an Arctic creature. We have one of the Arctic expansion creatures. And oh my god, it looks beautiful. Am I right or am I wrong? No, I'm wrong. And a lot of people are wrong as well, unfortunately. However, it is really well made. This was actually created from someone from the ground up, from what I understand. And this was a project that they had. I'm going to bring you to the page. This is from Jared, and it's basically more or less they did a creature for a contest on the 3DCA Discord. And then there's a Discord link right here. And he actually won, or she actually won. I'm not sure. I'm not going to assume gender. So they actually won first place. They did, in fact, take inspiration from the sand shark of Subnautica from Fox 3D with it linked, and they sculpted it in ZBrush, and then they did all of their fancy stuff that I don't understand in whatever program that they had. Still, you did a really good job on this. That actually caught my eye big time, and it was mainly because at first I saw the sand shark look, but this thing is very different compared to the sand shark. I actually love what you did with the coloring of this and the scales in the back. Overall, you did a really good job, and I would be super proud of myself if I was the one that made this. So, good job, man. I want to see more of this from you. You're really talented. Finally, there is not too much more that we can see on the Trello. I've scanned down through this with Bal, and unfortunately, it seems like we've hit the crest of information that we currently have available on all the brand new fancy quote-unquote stuff. So that's basically it right there. I do want to show you guys two more things, however. Now, these are unofficial. You don't have to stick around if you don't want to, because at this point, it's completely unofficial. But the two things that I found that were kind of cool, and I like the idea of them. One of them, I like the idea of. The other is kind of like we've already seen it. So we're going to do that right now. Now, I think I've shown you guys this in the past, but I do want to reiterate on what I said about this, because I don't think I was entirely on board with the idea of a healing pod in Subnautica. That's what this would be, by the way, a healing pod. You would lay down in this, and it would heal your wounds and all that stuff. Now, it kind of, I guess, takes away from the idea of healing yourself with med kits and stuff on the go, because like you have to come back to a stationary object and heal up. But I mean, realistically too, it could have some extra traits. Maybe it will give you a boost to your stamina if they add a stamina system to the game or anything like that. Overall, I mean, I think the idea was a good idea now that I rethink it, and I kind of want to see this in the game, but this is not official, just so you know. It's conceptual, and it's not even officially conceptual. This was just something that someone made that is completely unrelated to the Subnautica development team. Now, another thing that's completely unrelated is going to be this thing right here, which I didn't even know had a model being worked on. This is the Manta submarine. Now, the Manta submarine is something that I'd shown you guys in the past as well, and it was more or less a tiny model brought into the game and them just testing some stuff out. Well, it seems they've actually done somewhat of a 3D model for this. I don't know how much of the 3D model is done. It seems like we do have an interior on this as well. A very basic interior, mind you. And then we have 3 doorways right here, and we can go through. And this is the steering wheel. So it seems like they have been working on some of this, but overall, I'm not really sold yet on the idea of this submarine. I think the idea is there. I think if the execution of said idea is done well enough, well, then we might see something worthy of being added into Subnautica, but it's going to take a while before anything is really proven or set in stone. Anyways, guys, that is it for now on Subnautica. I hope you found this video enjoyable and at the very least informational about everything you wanted to know and be up to date with on the expansion. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you feel like I missed something as well, don't be shy. Get those fingers out. Start stretching them. Do your stuff. Keyboard, you know it. Say something down below. You know, please don't be too mean. All right. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, guys, and I will see you in the next one.